When I first stepped into this rig, it didn't feel like freedom. It felt like a puzzle. 100 square feet of chaos and potential. The floor creaked. The air smelled faintly of dust and old plywood. But standing there, surrounded by peeling wallpaper and the quiet promise of open roads, I saw something. Maybe not what it was, but what it could be. Everyone talks about van life or RV living like it's a highlight reel. Mountain views, sunset dinners, coffee cups balanced on dashboards. But this story starts differently. It starts with sandpaper and sleepless nights, with plans that changed a dozen times before the first screw even went in. I didn't buy an RV. I bought a blank canvas disguised as a mess. Back then, the floor plan was, well, let's just say, it was classic. A narrow walkway leading to a claustrophobic kitchen, a dinette that felt like it was built for dolls, and a bedroom that somehow managed to feel both tiny and hollow. I remember ducking under low cabinets, wondering why every corner had a sharp edge. It was functional, technically, but it had no flow, no soul. The first few weeks were just sketches. Graph paper filled with wild ideas, tearing out the dinette, flipping the bed, installing a workstation where the old TV mount used to be. I wanted space that moved with me, that adapted to the way I lived, not the way some factory thought I should. So I stripped it bare. Every carpet, every cabinet door, gone. For a moment, it looked worse than before. Just a hollow shell with wires dangling like vines, sunlight spilling through unshaded windows. But in that emptiness, I saw the first breath of freedom. The first major change was the floor. I went with a lighter wood grain vinyl, durable enough for muddy boots but warm enough to make the place feel alive. The old carpet had trapped every road trip the RV had ever taken. The new floor reflected light, making the whole rig look twice. Its size. It wasn't just cosmetic, it changed how the space felt. Clean, open, like you could finally breathe. Next came the kitchen. I pulled out the old Formica countertop and replaced it with a butcher block slab that I sealed by hand. It wasn't perfect, there are still tiny scorch marks near the stove, but it has character, and that's what I wanted. The backsplash was a late-night decision. Peel and stick tiles that somehow lined up perfectly, even though I installed them by flashlight. Every time I make coffee now, I remember that night. The smell of adhesive, the hum of a generator, the first real proof that this RV was becoming mine. Storage was the next battle. RVs never seem to have enough of it, and when they do, it's always in the wrong places. So I reimagined it all. Overhead cabinets became shallow, pull-down bins. The space under the bed turned into a sliding drawer system for tools and gear. I even built a hidden compartment beneath the couch. Not for anything secret, just for the things that don't have a home. Spare cords, road maps, tiny pieces of the journey that seem too small to matter but always come in handy. If you were standing here beside me right now, I'd show you the biggest transformation of all, the living area. The before photo looks like a waiting room. Brown walls, faded cushions, stiff angles. Now it's the heart of the RV. I swapped the bulky dinette for a modular bench system that transforms from seating to a full guest bed in under a minute. Above it, open shelving displays a few small keepsakes, a desert stone from Utah, a Polaroid from Big Sur, a cracked mug from a roadside diner somewhere in Nevada. Every piece tells a story, and that's the thing. I wanted this space to remember. Lighting changed everything. Gone are the harsh fluorescents. In their place, warm LEDs tucked into recesses and corners. At night, the glow feels almost like candlelight, soft and alive. The trick was layering it. Ceiling lights for work, string lights for calm, reading lamps for the quiet hours. It's not just design, it's emotion by electricity. And the bedroom. The before version was all bulk. A queen bed jammed between two towering wardrobes that boxed you in. I tore those out, replaced them with low-profile drawers, and flipped the bed orientation so that morning light spills across the pillow instead of blasting directly into my eyes. There's a small skylight now, my favorite upgrade. You lie there at night and see stars through it like your own private planetarium. As for the bathroom, small victories matter. I redid the vanity using leftover butcher block, added matte, black fixtures, and replaced the cracked plastic shower door with a simple waterproof curtain. It's humble, but it feels new. Clean. Human. One of the most important upgrades wasn't even visible at first glance. Insulation and soundproofing. I lined the walls with a combination of foam board and recycled denim insulation. It keeps the temperature stable, sure, but more than that, it creates quiet, a cocoon of stillness even when you're parked beside a roaring highway. The silence is addictive. And then came the tech. I installed a 400-watt solar setup on the roof, connected to lithium batteries tucked neatly beneath the bed platform. That single upgrade changed how I travel. No more searching for hookups, no more worrying about power. I can park by a lake for a week, run the lights, the fridge, the laptop, all powered by the sun. Freedom, literal and electric. The workspace was an afterthought that became essential. I built it into the rear corner, just a floating desk with a swivel chair that locks for travel. But from that little spot, I've written stories, edited videos, planned routes, and handled life on the move. The view changes, but the desk stays the same. A small island of focus in a sea of motion. Of course, no RV project goes perfectly. I learned that the hard way. The first time I tested the water lines, a joint burst under the sink. The first road trip, one of the cabinet latches failed and I ended up chasing a drawer across the floor at 60 miles an hour. But that's part of it. Every failure taught me something: how to fix, how to adapt, how to keep moving forward even when everything rattles. The aftershots look clean now, like something out of a design magazine. But the truth is, every mark has a memory. The tiny dent by the entryway, that's from the first time I tried to maneuver into a tight forest campsite. The scuff on the fridge door, my dog racing toward the smell of bacon, the little chip on the countertop, a reminder that nothing stays perfect, and that's okay. Sometimes I look back at the original photos, that cramped little box of an RV, and I barely recognize it. The walls were beige, the light was cold, the space felt like it was waiting for permission to live. Now it's alive in every corner. Plants hang near the windows. A woven rug softens the floor. The air smells faintly of cedar and coffee. Every inch is something I touched, shaped, built with my own hands. The evolution wasn't just about wood and wiring. It was about me. When you redesign a space like this, you start redesigning yourself too. You learn what really matters, what deserves space and what doesn't. You learn that comfort isn't luxury, it's alignment. Every shelf, every drawer, every choice becomes a mirror of your priorities. The best part of any tour, though, isn't the upgrades, it's what they represent. The foldable desk isn't just clever design, it's late-night work sessions while rain drums on the roof. The solar panels aren't just tech, they're the quiet hum of independence. The open shelves aren't just decor, they're a gallery of small triumphs, each object a mile marker of the journey. If you could see the before and after in motion, the old frame fading into the new, you'd see more than just different furniture. You'd see the difference between existing and belonging. You'd see a space that finally matches the rhythm of a life lived in motion. Now, when I step inside after a long drive, I feel it immediately. The weight of the day falling away, the soft glow of the lights, the hum of the inverter, the subtle scent of pine from the cabinets. It's not a vehicle anymore, it's a vessel. Every journey begins and ends right here. Sometimes I park by the ocean, open the back doors, and let the salt air spill in. Sometimes I park deep in the woods where the only sound is wind. Every time I look around and think, this was worth every splinter, every setback, every mile. Because what started as a broken-down rig turned into a living, breathing reflection of freedom. People ask what my favorite part is. It's not the kitchen, not the workspace, not even the view through the skylight. It's the feeling when I wake up and realize that home is wherever I decide to stop the engine. That's the real transformation, not just of the RV, but of what home even means. And maybe that's the point of all this. Not to chase perfection, but to create something that moves with you. To build a space that carries your story, Mile after mile, through mountains and deserts and cities in silence. So if you ever find yourself standing in your own version of that before shot, dust in the air, chaos all around, don't see what it is. See what it could be. Because somewhere under all that mess, under the noise and the fear and the blank walls, there's a version waiting to become yours. This RV isn't just a home on wheels. It's a timeline made of wood and light. A constant reminder that transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens one bolt, one panel, one choice at a time. And that's the real tour.